All right, welcome back everybody to the Chart Addicts live trading streams. If you found your way here, congratulations, you're in the right place. If you found your way back, congratulations. It means you got good taste. We're trading the NASDAQ 100 index, top 100 names in the New York or in the NASDAQ Stock Exchange. Market open, we're 1 minute past the New York market open. We're going to be going through the live trades that I just called out here. I have my screen paused because I'm currently entering a trade on my other screen here, and I'll be resuming the screen share in just a second. We're going to be going through some market news, updates on the Ukraine-Russia situation, updates on the Israel-Palestine situation, and of course, giving you guys some market updates, potentially what Jerome Powell might say going into this Wednesday's FOMC meeting. So stick around. Let me know if you have any questions. Drop a like and subscribe if you find this valuable. And of course, check out the live masterclass where we teach this exact strategy that we're trading today so that you can learn how to do this for yourself. All right, screen share should be back on. The concept of a tester entry is to put in a small position so that if the market leaves without you, you don't feel FOMO. Okay, it's not about the money. Well, it kind of is because it's still a one-to-one or potentially more if you hold the full trade. But it's more so about getting rid of that feeling of, damn, I should have entered the trade. All right. But it also leaves you enough ammo that if the market goes into drawdown, which oftentimes it does, especially near the market open, you enter close to the market open, you get a big retest of the entry typically below the first entry. And that's where you want to have ammo on the sidelines to redeploy and enter a position again. Make sense? Throw something in the chats. If you guys are alive, C4, Chris Brown, I see you guys on YouTube. Welcome back to the live streams. We're back, baby. All right, we got Monday, June 10th, a few days away from the FOMC meeting. We talked about this plenty on the Sunday Outlook, and we talked about this last week. The rate cutting cycle has begun, starting with Europe and the Bank of Canada. Will Jerome Powell cave into the pressures and talk about potentially cutting rates as early as July? Potentially cutting rates as early as July. They're saying we might see close to 2% of rate cuts total in the next 8 meetings, which would put us in like Q2 of 2025. We'll go from 5.5% Fed funds rate down to about 3.5%. Sounds to me like the party's back on. Now, everyone should go back test this for themselves, but look at all the quantitative, like look at everything that's happened when there was rate cuts. Look at market activity following rate cuts. We're getting a sharp rejection here, right at market open. Still expecting this push through to enter the second position. That's TP1. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to display TP1 and TP2 here, or entry 1 and entry 2 without making this too messy. I'm pretty sure you guys get the gist because the blue line here represents the entry, kind of the tester position we took, and then this black line represents the sort of second entry I'm looking for, probably in the next 15, 20 minutes. Says Naz is cooking. Yep, yep. Doing all right for now. We're still the R&R on that trade still needs a little bit of time. We got AB Mike. Good morning, brother. Good morning, Biggie Smalls in the house. Good stuff. US 30 Asia low to London model 886 hit right now. Beautiful. NASA is pumping now. Interesting. Bearish model though, Josh. We got sideways, bank down, tried to push at market open, tried to get that push. I mean, it still might be early, right? This is still that entry position for buys, but we want to see a push above that Asia high. And this false break thing. Oh, you said TP hit. Interesting. I don't know. This thing really could pump up. It could pump up at least to the Asia highs, maybe break a little bit higher. So I support this movement. Oh, big surprise. Gold's in profit. Do I take out the magnet yet or no? Didn't I tell you guys the market's going to break just below that zone? So there's about a 60-point zone. Didn't you guys remember this from last night? Put a one in the chat if you guys remember this from last night. Talked about the market going below the zone. There's a 60-point range between 2290 and 2296, 60 points right here where the market could play around before it pumps up. And now the market's at 2306. Have a bearish model marked up for awareness. Josh, you're locked in, brother. Good stuff. You're all the way locked in. Yeah, this is just too nice. What do I do? Whoop, whoop. That's crazy. TP1 lands right at neutrality for the pre-session consolidation. But when it all lines up with the math and when the geometry lines up like that, man, it's crazy. I don't believe in coincidences. So we have from low to high, that zone that we all know. TP1 is right here. I'll put that as green. And then TP2, and then TP2 is right here. All right, so TP1 lines up right at neutrality for the pre-session consolidation, like smack in the middle. I don't know. Little coincidences like that. That's what I like to see. Nice break back above the Asia low. Still playing around. It was wicking around for a while. Let's see if it continues to push or if we get like a nice sharp wick down so we can have another entry down here. If we break TP1, when I close the full trade, I'll close the full trade right here at the Asia highs. I would just close that full entry. Go for a 1.5 to 1. Walk away for the day. Come on now. Jamil, good morning. Leo, good morning. Good morning. Would you usually expect low volatility on no news days? Typically, yes. I typically expect bullish action on no news days. Okay, you guys are welcome for that one if you're paying attention. But before FOMC, there's always a market, like a weekly market cycle that leads up to it. So markets will do like a very sharp move followed by a lot of consolidation because what they're trying to do is they want people to get frustrated and then panic in whatever order that goes. So they might consolidate early in the week, frustration, and then do a sharp move on a Tuesday panic where people start to FOMO in, blow accounts, all this stuff. And then by the time the news comes around, very few traders are still positioned to really take advantage of the move. So, regardless of what happens, understand that the weekly cycle is going to play out. And if you can track it early enough, like see how the volatility is on Monday, if it's slow, then expect like a very sharp move the next day. We trade the model, the same exact model that I taught you guys is the model for FOMC. And if this is your first time trading FOMC with us, I'm going to show you right before, probably on one of the market outlooks this week, how the model works. It's a perfect Model 3 every time. In the trading news course, if anyone here has taken it, you've seen that model before. It's the same exact one. And so, regardless of how it sets up between now and then, the main goal is don't blow your account and don't dig yourself into a hole before we get to Wednesday. Because regardless of what happens, we're going to find a trade on Wednesday. It's going to Model 3 itself right to a higher time frame zone of interest. And then we're going to wait for that zone to get violated and then buy it on the way back in. We're already getting paid on a Monday. So what you thought this was, man? What you fucking thought this was? Put some respect on my name, LLC. Max, put that on a shirt. Right? How these pips taste. All right. Let me calm down. Your stop loss is by entry. All right. Summer collection for the 88.6 coming soon, by the way. Shorts, cutoffs. And Max, I'll let you break it down. Running 20, 250K challenges starting today. Yo, let's fucking go, son. Bro, this dude keeps setting the bar higher. 20, 250K challenges. Bro, I'm going to fucking one up you. I'm going to do 21, 250K challenges. No, I'm happy for you, bro. And I'm happy. I want to give a congratulations. Let me see if you're out here. Two-step. George, congratulations on passing. Proud of you, bro. Long time coming. Great moves. Everybody else, stay consistent, man. Go on your own timelines. Jensen, we're going to have a convo with the members only here pretty soon. Kind of get you on, talk to the team about scaling, which is, okay, is there a big difference between managing a master account with 20 fucking accounts on there or 10 accounts? Do you ever even think about the total running, or do you just trade the master account the way it is? And we'll kind of have those combos. I mean, shit, let's start now. Might as well. Do you think that there's a difference in scaling, or do you think it's all the same?
Yeah, can you hear me, Roy?
Yes, sir. If you're at work or something, bro, don't even worry about it. I just figured if
Yeah.
you're at the
Yeah,
state.
no, I'm at work now, but yeah, there is a difference, man. So when you have your drop down in Tradebate that you see all 20 accounts running, that can be very, very intimidating for a lot of people, myself included.
Mhm.
So being that I've done this several times and not been successful with a ton of those accounts chained together, what I do is I shrink that window and I just see the one master account running.
Nice.
And that helps me a lot because, right now I'm looking at $1,000 in profit when I know it's $20,000 on this challenge, but it helps you get back to that simplicity, at least for me. So the
I mean,
psychology behind it, just
100%.
keep it simple. That way when you see a red day, you don't revenge trade to try to get it back because there's 20 of those things running.
For sure. And I know this is probably an individual thing, but which one do you feel like has a bigger impact? Seeing all the profits running on all the accounts or seeing the red on all the accounts? Which one do you think has more of like like an impact on your decisions?
I would say the red because you feel like you're behind, and when you know that you're gonna have to repurchase all of these accounts,
Yeah.
that can be tough, man. Nobody wants to see that. So I think the red, but the green has its own side to it, right? You see a bunch of profits, you feel good, you can get overconfident in your next trade, and you
Hmm.
don't you don't keep your risk management tight. So
Yep.
at this point, I map it out for a daily goal that's very small. I'm running this challenge for at least 22 days.
Hmm.
That's where I have my profit goals set to, which shrinks down the profit to pass the challenge to only 400 and something dollars. So getting $400 a day is much easier,
And
in
you
my
stay
opinion, than
far away from the max risk or the trailing drawdown or anything that could
oh
potentially
yeah,
count. That's, I think, the most important because if you stay in the game long enough, you're going to find good trades and you're going to be able to pass. But I think a lot of people just kind of rush into kind of all right trades or the risk is just too high, you end up shooting yourself in the foot before you even get to the good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I've been there as well. Seeing that you have 6,500 available in drawdown, you're like, oh, cool. Well, I can risk 1% of 250K. That's $2,500. Well, if you shrink your daily goal down to 400, all of a sudden, 2 to 1 risk looks a lot better if you have a red day. And you can
Yeah,
just kind of scale it up that way. So
I love it.
I've just tried to find ways to keep my head on straight and shoot for base hit after base hit. And if we get a home run, cool. Now my daily average just shrunk to $200,
Dude,
instead of
I
having to
love it.
worry about getting these big wins.
Hmm. Dude, that's awesome.
So,
Setting the targets more realistic, not expecting too much out of the market, being rock solid on the risk management. And obviously, it helps if you have a ton of accounts because if you're trying to do that with one or two accounts, there's always going to be that feeling of it's not enough. And that's, I think,
hmm
where the over leveraging, like the over leveraged and undercapitalized trader is one of like those profiles that we sort of identified as a big reason why people lose. Like you're trying to force a small account and it's making you think you don't know how to trade when really it's just, you know, you got to fit your
yeah,
strategy to the capital you're using.
that's
Awesome.
it, man. And with one more thing, real quick, before I got to jump off
No, go for it.
the Apex, they're doing a lifetime fee. So there's two ways to do it before. When you pass, you have to pay $105 every month on every single account you have. Well, right now they're running $85, and that's a lifetime fee. So you don't have the monthly overhead.
Are you serious?
Um, yeah, yeah. So that's, and I'm not broadcasting them as like the go-to
Hmm.
brokerage, but I've gotten paid out from them very quickly, and they've done everything right by my book so far. But it just takes that overhead away, and it really does incentivize you to not say, okay, even though the payouts are every 10 days, you don't have to shoot for that because now there's not that 1 month looming over your head of like, crap, man, you know, $2,000 on 20 accounts every month. If I don't get paid out, that's a lot.
Bro, it's a big
Uh,
deal. Yeah, yeah, it's a huge
yeah,
deal
yeah.
because
So it
that's
takes
how
all
they're
that
able
pressure.
to recoup from everybody. It's like basically commissions and spread and like some of those tactics that other brokers use to make money. These guys are sort of promising that there is none of that, and then they'll end up just charging you like a subscription fee instead, which really
Yep.
adds up, like you said.
Yeah, it adds up. But this takes all the pressure away to where, my goal is 22 days. I want to pass all these challenges.
Let's
And
go.
then who cares how long it takes to get to the payout? Because I don't have there's nothing leveraged against me monetarily. I can take
Wow.
3 months to pass this and the payout on it is 60K. So who cares?
Dude, I really appreciate you putting that out there for real. And I also
Yeah.
appreciate the disclaimer. I want to let folks know that anybody that's doing 90% off challenges and things like that, eventually there's going to be it raises red flags for me. But like Jensen said, they're paying out and their
Yep.
conditions are good and the creativity and sort of like flexibility that you have to link accounts together and sort of the way you can build yourself a good trading portfolio while just trading one account and just doing your thing, I think is incredibly beneficial. And y'all should put it on the radar for real. 22 days, not a long time. So time
Yep.
is now.
Yep.
Appreciate that, brother. Seriously.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys. I'll be listening in, but I'm gonna hop off.
All right, there it is. Appreciate it, bro. Chris said, I did the lifetime payment. Oh, good stuff, Chris. He's talking about Apex. So I'm assuming you pay the $85 one time, and then you no longer have that monthly maintenance fee that you have to pay just to keep the accounts. I'm not gonna give them too much recognition here, guys, because if Apex is listening, you guys want to send the check, you guys want to sit down, have a convo, don't even send the check. We'll do it for free. Just come bring your team to the FX Summit. We'd love to see you guys out there. All right. Market back at entry. We're about 20 minutes away from the mark or 20 minutes past market open here for the New York session. Expecting price to head down to this 18,930. If you guys are looking at futures prices, this thing is about 10 minutes late. So uh, that'll be about 18,965. Right. Just to make it easy, we'll say 18,970. I'm using the Awanda chart just because it's cleaner, but you guys can see that the market action is the same. This one's just lagging a little bit because they want you to buy some subscription or something. It's the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, it's CME. And CME is a bunch of cheapos, but how are you like a world-class exchange and you out here asking for $5 subscription? Like that's crazy to me. That's nuts to me. I mean, but get your bag, man. I ain't paying for it, but somebody is, I think. He said it's 10 cents a month still. What do you mean, 10 cents a month? Apex for real pays out? Yeah, they do. Because I had my skepticism. Trust me, I'm not trying to put them on as a reputable prop firm, especially kind of considering where the prop firm space is right now and some of the uncertainty that's over there. But if they're paying out right now, bro, the longer it takes for you to sit there and deliberate over it, the longer you're missing the opportunity. That's how I was with a lot of prop firms before, and I feel like, but you can criticize something, but just do it from the winning side. I think Jim Rohn has a really good bit about this. It's like this big monstrous thing goes up in the sky and comes down, hits the ground, shakes the ground for miles, right? Goes up, big monstrous thing slams into the ground, shakes the ground for miles. And you got to be standing out there thinking, this is fucking stupid. This is a stupid thing that's happened. It's a stupid arrangement. I think is how he said it. All right. You can, and then you're free to have that opinion. Like, but do it from over there. Like, don't do it from under the fucking thing. Do it from over there. And so this version would be like, yeah, we can have these criticisms, but like these opportunities are being presented for traders to seriously scale and leverage, to now combine accounts as opposed to just have to trade one account. And you can use copy traders to sort of link the different accounts and not have to worry about getting flagged for that because they're allowing you to do that. So the opportunity here is crazy. Linking the prop firms together, this is something that's really it's like 2 years old. Folks have been on this for a long time, but they would just get flagged by the prop firms and they would just get denied. Right? They would either use high frequency trading, they would link an EA to a bunch of different accounts that were copied together, and then folks who just genuinely wanted to copy trade would get flagged for breaking the rules even though they didn't, and they would still get their accounts taken. So having these futures prop firms really, really not enabling this. Well, I guess, yeah, enabling this. I think is a huge plus, and time is now. You pay the lifetime fee, yes, but it's still 10 cents a month. Okay, bro, like what? I think you have to do the 10 cents just for some law that if you're not paying a subscription, then technically like you're trading an account. So to avoid the account management thing, they probably created a subscription model where you're trading subscription for data or something. My goal is 5K a week, 20K for the month. That's 300K, 20K a month. That's 240K a year. Rock solid, brother. Have I ever done options? When I used to work at Merrill, yes, but not trading options, no. Not my deal. Said US 30 just blasted off. Sheesh. I'm gonna set an alert here for NASDAQ in case it breaks down. I gotta know. Wait. And then if we break TP1, I want to get that alert as well. US 30 just blasted off. That little inverted head and shoulders. Ugh. What a beauty. What a beauty. Don't get better than this. Break of the high right here. 886 retest right here. Sharp body closure. Damn near at the previous highs. Okay, solid bullish momentum up. So here's the first pre-session consolidation here. The top of that is that TP1. Let me clean this up. This got way too messy. Right here. 886. Man, stop playing, bro. This is nuts. Perfect. So if you ain't taking your profits or your partials now, forever hold your peace. Everything after this is going to be extra credit. You're going to see a nice retest back into this range. If it creates that support, it's going to continue to push, ideally a little bit higher than the Asia session. Asia session. If it closes below the lows of Asia, right there, then a very good chance that it pushes down. I'm in favor of bullish. I think this thing got a lot of potential, but we don't take partials on potential. We take partials on risk to reward. Turning account lifetime fee term, $85 for the first 10 years, then 1 cent for each 10 years. The fuck? Damn. Only 1 cent for the next 10 years. That's insane. Says who took US 30? Vaughn took US 30. Good stuff. Mike said whoever took US 30 is up a bag. Josh, you're the one who called it, ain't you? Tell me you took it. Walter said I took it for the challenge. Good stuff. Yeah, Naz is pumping next. Let's see. All right, let's do some quick updates on news. I'm going to go through three big news events. Obviously, the Russia-Ukraine war. I'm going to talk a bit about that, give you guys some updates on where that's going, how that might impact markets. We'll talk about the Palestine-Israel situation, and then we'll talk about Jerome Powell, a few things he might say or do in the Wednesday FOMC meeting. If you guys want to talk about the US elections, we can do that too. First, 37 candidates died in the run-up to the Mexican election. Though somebody fact check me on this because I know I hyperbolize a lot, right? I know I exaggerate for comedic effect because I'm fucking hilarious. But I'm being very serious about when I say 37 JFKs in a fucking year in a run-up to an election, and that's our neighbor? And that's our fucking next door neighbor? And people say they don't want to build a fence? Yo, son, I ain't trying to get political, but guys, 37 is a wild number. 37 JFKs. That sounds like, but if somebody put that in a movie, you wouldn't believe it. You'd be like, bro, in what fucking universe is 37 candidates getting shot on in a run up to an election? And how'd this sweet lady win the election? This sweet lady, right? So a lot of things are not adding up. That's our next door neighbor. Um, it is what it is. Pull back longs on Nas. Nas on daily needs a retest. It definitely does, but I'm not on the daily. I'm on the 30-minute, and my target is on the 30 minutes, and my re-entry is on the 30 minutes. So the daily can do whatever it wants, man. And you're right. We're gonna have a big, big, sharp push below these weekly lows, probably around the news. Might have to extend the stop loss. That first trade. Yeah, we're gonna see a sharp move below these lows before we rebound for the news. But I'm trading a 30-minute range right here. I got my 30-minute model. We trade this strategy. If you guys want to learn it, go ahead and click the link in the description so you can learn this strategy as well. But it's day trading. Well, at this point, it might be a scalp if the market wants to cooperate right here. All right, David Sanchez, good morning. Buenos dias. All right, let's go through those three events. We'll kind of keep these things posted. I have my alerts here for the re-entry, so I got those things lined up. Market's looking okay. We got to see a wick fill after this next retest, so got to keep an eye for that. If we end up closing below this black line, then I'm gonna wait for the pullback, exit my trades, and then this thing will likely crash after. So while I explain these things about the news, understand that that's kind of what I'm watching for. Russia, Ukraine. So up until this point, we all know that NATO's been sort of supporting Ukraine through proxy. So they'll either fund Finland, Poland, any of the accessory groups, or they'll fund certain other groups inside. They'll give military equipment for defense, for humanitarian aid. They'll give money direct to the country, but they have not directly given weapons that they expect the Ukrainians to use against Russia, because that's a declaration of war, basically. The past 2 weeks, that's changed. NATO has sent a ton of equipment, weaponry to Ukraine under the conditions that they don't send any rockets or anything across Russia. Like you can fight in this in-between region, the Donetsk, the Donbass, wherever they're fighting in that sort of middle ground between Russia and Ukraine. But to send rockets into Russia that are that's NATO equipment, that's US funded, is going to trigger an article of the NATO agreements where if one NATO country gets attacked, the rest have to step in. All right, Finland, Poland, there's a lot of countries. Some of the Nordic countries are on the border there. They're part of NATO. And I think here's the thing. This is NATO's miscalculation. They heard Putin say to Finland that if they join NATO, then he's going to bomb the shit out of them. A bunch of the other countries that did the same thing. And he didn't. That's why this whole idea that Russia has this intention of taking over Europe doesn't really make sense, because he's been keeping it cordial. Then Ukraine is the last stand. As soon as there was talks that they're going to join NATO, that's where he put his foot down and sort of created this whole standoff. So now NATO making it worse by sending equipment that Ukraine might actually use to send rockets into mainland Russia, create tons of civilian casualties, even if it's military bases, doesn't matter. That's a declaration of war between Russia and NATO, and America has to take NATO's back. Y'all get me? That's how World War II happened and World War I. So not cool. That's an escalation of conflict. That's what we don't want to see, especially in a year that's this hot, where there's elections happening all over the world, where there's a US election, where there's uncertainty in terms of the global economy. Not where you want to see escalations of conflict. You want to see containment. And the US foreign policy establishment really needs to get their shit together. De-escalation is key. Israel, Palestine. So Israel did this military operation on one of the most populated areas in Gaza. Well, it's not really in Gaza. It's this area called Rafah, which is where most people fled to once the bombing in Gaza started. So it has a hugely densely populated area of civilians that have fled another area because they thought this place was safe. There was bombardments happening there, and so a lot of people had left Rafah and went to other folks. There's orphanages and there's refugee camps that folks are going to after Rafah. Those spots just got bombed too. There was 4 hostages that were rescued, and in the results of that, I think over 200 casualties were incurred to save those 4 hostages. This was over the weekend, I believe. So this thing is getting worse. And the worse it gets, the less political and diplomatic cover that the US can give to Israel, and the more problematic the tensions become in the Middle East. And nobody wants that. You don't want a bomb that can go off at any second. That ain't cool. So that's what's happening. There's escalations on both fronts. There seems to be this sort of lack of care for global opinion anymore, because the US is not really enforcing global law, not really holding folks accountable for civilian casualties or none of the rest. So I think it's emboldening a lot of needless bloodshed. Okay. And here's the biggest risk that no one's paying attention to. Who does this embolden the most? Who's watching right now thinking, okay, if the US is not going to step in when there's clear acts of war crimes happening in the Ukraine and Russia, there's no UN Security Council that's going to hold a war commission against Russia. Same thing with Israel on that side. If there's none of this going to happen, then it's going to embolden China to want to take Taiwan, knowing that the first rule of war is that you can never win a war fighting a two-front battle. Okay? If you're fighting on 2 fronts, you're doomed to lose. So if we're already fighting in Israel, we have fighting in the Ukraine through both proxy, and then we have an invasion at the southern border. China's thinking, who the fuck they're not going to want a third war, a third front. in Taiwan. And we definitely don't want to go into conflict with China right before the next election, because Biden has to sort of make it appear as if we're friends with China, as if we have cooperating interests. China's going to take the fuck out of Taiwan. I don't think there's a thing we can do about it unless we want to go into a hot war. And I think they have to do it before Trump comes in, because imagine they try to do that when Trump is here. Imagine they don't believe Biden will act on his threats, but Trump will. Trump makes a threat, it's a promise. So I think they'll take it serious. Take a look at this, Roy. Top Step X with integrated copy trader trading 350K for $90 a month. Ooh, I like that. Yo, I like that. Okay, I'm looking into that on Top Step too. Yes, sir. All right, we're gonna hang out here for a bit. That's basically an update. Escalation on both. NATO giving arms to Ukraine will definitely lead to an escalation in conflict, because that's what started this in the first place. We also have an escalation of conflict with more civilian casualties for, versus the number of hostages that are being rescued. And so at this point, the mismatch is just getting worse and worse. And the worse the mismatch gets, the more civilians that are killed in proportion to the hostages saved, like yeah, it's this is going to become a serious problem. I don't think they're taking it as serious as they need to. It is what it is. We're over here, so we got more than enough problems to worry about on our own side. When it comes to markets specifically, Nvidia, I think it's going to be in for a bit of a rude shock here, especially when interest rates start to come down. I think, okay, here's the deal. Technology stocks typically do well in a low rate environment, because when monetary policy is loose, people have more risk appetite. There's more money sloshing around the system, and there's more capacity for people to go out there and make money in real estate and other places where you can arbitrage that rate of borrowing and lending. Tech stocks right now are extremely popular, I think, because of the high, like despite and because of the high interest rates. So if we can't make money doing commercial real estate, because to go get a loan, it's too expensive. To go get a business loan, too expensive. To go basically do anything is too expensive. Why not just buy stocks with a high returning percentage yield or percentage growth potential, and then just sit in those? Now, when interest rates start to come down, and a lot of folks want to start to refinance, want to take that money and put it in play into physical assets, put it into commodities or anything else, I think that we see a bit of a dip in the tech stocks at that point. So when they announce cuts, markets will crash. And it's the opposite of what everybody else is saying. The markets are gonna boom when they cut rates. They'll boom. The markets will boom after a couple months, yes, as they always do. But I think immediately after, no one's really paying attention to the big picture. And you can go back test this across other rate cuts. I have 250K on Top Step for 150 a month. 150 a month? So three 50K accounts for 90, it's 30 a pop. So four would be 120 a month. And then five would be 150. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Got you. My bad, man. It took me a little while. How we looking on profits, people? This fuck Virginia, man. One thing I love about Miami is it's not like a giant forest. Every time I step off the plane here, instant allergies. Like my asthma came back. NATO-Russia war is going to happen in Ukraine, but would they dare to hit mainland Russia? I hope they don't. If they do, it's a serious, serious fucking problem. Rich White, good morning. Possibility of gold retesting all-time high. My gold target is 3,000 over the long term. Long term meaning next 3 to 5 years. So I'm bullish on gold too. I think that inflation only goes one way. Gold is mostly denominated in dollars. Like clearly you have the European gold market, etc. But When you're transacting globally, the dollar is the medium of exchange. And so as the dollar gets inflated away, gold becomes more expensive. That's the theory behind Bitcoin too. It's the same theory behind real estate. It's not like your house got that much better, but it just costs more dollars to buy the same house because, you know, we made the dollar worth less by printing the fuck out of it. Geopolitical news be tripping these days. WTF? Man, we're good. Just raise your children right, build strong character, make sure your kids ain't pussies if you're listening to this, because all these countries, they don't live in the same world that we do. Okay. And if there's real conflict out here and you're seeing what's happening out there, we need strong people, not to go fight, strong people to make sure the society stays on track, make sure that there's opportunity, make sure that this country never gets in that position because we can reason, we can work together, we can have good character, strong character. So if you guys got kids, man, build strong character. Trust me. My parents did a great job, right? All that bullshit that you see about, your kids are gonna resent this and that. Your kids will never resent you for doing things that were productive for them, even if they were hard, even if they're not fun, even if, they got to miss out on a bunch of stuff with their friends or whatever. I don't talk to a single fucking person from middle school, all right? Or elementary school or any of that dumb shit. What I have is the character that I learned doing all the hard things I wanted to quit doing, right? I'm a master at playing the cello, right? It's just shit I just didn't want to do, bro. Imagine being in fucking the band class and like you trying to go play other sports and whatnot. But that's the stuff that really builds that character. I'm not saying that, that's what we need in a wartime, but I'm just saying these are the things that long term you really do appreciate, and you're never gonna resent somebody for putting you in a position to be very productive for yourself. All right, because if any of the stands, I think Dana White said this, if any of the stands want to invade today, but are they gonna take this shit? All right, I watch enough UFC to know this. If they got the Abraham Lincoln beard, if they got if the mustache missing, buddy, and they got the cauliflower ears, like we're done. All of us are done. So you better sign your kids up for some jujitsu, people. We gotta start getting fucking right. Stop all this nonsense, all this bullshit, debating over absolute garbage, and really get to some real issues. That's why I hate YouTube. Like I'll get on and I see people I used to respect. I see all types of like Sam Harris people, all this stuff. And I don't care what side of the debate they're on. The fact you're even debating dumb ass shit is like, the fuck are you doing with your time, bro? How much time do you have in your day? You're all on here because ideally you either have yourself, your family, your legacy, something that you're working towards to make money so that you can build something better. All right, whatever that looks like for you is your problem and your responsibility. But at least we're all here with that one common interest. And yeah, there's jokes being kind of flown around, whatever, but we got to keep things light. But we all have this one productive common interest here. Okay. Imagine we're on here like debating some dumb ass shit. Like, how much time do people have, bro? Your kids not got to eat. Your kids don't have college tuition. Like, what the fuck is happening? They're talking about some I don't know what the fuck they're talking about on YouTube these days. I fuck with Jordan Peterson though. Buddy came back with a vengeance. They were telling him he's crying and all that shit, bro. Buddy came back and just shot on everybody's life. He was talking about some fuck y'all, fuck this. I saw him on Fox News the other day, wilding out. I was like, there it is. Fucking Buddy dropped him. Came back and just talking his shit. He said, I'm liking Top Step X. They're gonna get better and better. You gotta follow up with the Top Step team, man. I really like those guys. Really, really like those folks. Hoping to have them out speaking at the summit, talking about the prop from space. All right. Nobody has questions on YouTube. What's going on? We talked about geopolitics. We talked about Russia, Ukraine. We talked about Israel, Palestine. We didn't talk about Trump's situation, but we can if you guys have any specific questions there. We talked about market impact of Jerome Powell's decisions on Wednesday, the FOMC's dilemma, market conditions. We talked about spending and GDP being down after it was revised from 1.6 down to 1.3% last week. Consumer spending took a hit in that report we saw when we broke it down. Savings rate was up, consumer spending was down, imports was up, exports was down. Not good, not good, not good. So economic slowdown coming. Could Jerome Powell potentially cut rates on Wednesday or indicate a rate cut as early as July if the economic conditions continue to worsen in Q2? Drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know if there's anything that you guys, there's anything specifically that you enjoyed from this stream, anything specifically you learned. Was there money made on any of the trades? Put something in the chats, man, and create some life. Oh, US 30 popped off. We hit the top of that Asia range. Congratulations to anyone who took that US 30 trade. Mike said, I enjoyed the fact I made 1,500. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. I'm passing 450K and 150K. I'm halfway there. Walter, consistency is the name of the game, brother. And once you get funded, that's the start of the journey, not the end. There's a lot of people I've been talking to. I've been coaching some folks on the side, not really on the side. It's right in the open. It's our entire brand is we're a coaching service for traders and education. I'm working with people who get funded and take their foot off the gas. That's like slowing down before you get to the end zone in football. Like, better get the fucking touchdown and celebrate. Just because you got your funded account doesn't mean shit. Get to the payouts, people. Get to the payouts with an S. And how do you do that? Come with the perspective, number one, of I'm not blowing this account. And then work backwards from there. Okay, so how do I not blow this account? What risk do I have to use to not blow this? And then start to build a system to inch forward. Stay consistent, people. Love to see it. This man Jensen is up 30 bands. What the fuck am I looking at here, Jensen? Sheesh. Am I seeing this correctly? Bro, this is probably the sexiest thing I've seen all day. I just drooled a little bit on my hand. That's a shit ton of accounts, bro. That should give me a little bit of anxiety. 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is this all 20 right here listed or what? Chill, man. I was fucking joking. Relax. No fucking, your head still gotta fit through the door, Jensen. So if anybody's gotta fucking keep you down the side, somebody's got to. I'm gonna have to call Bryce. Gotta call in for backup. Rich White said I'm a billionaire. I'm just here for the jokes. Roy's the goat. Rich, you ain't no billionaire. Stop fucking around. All right. I don't even know Rich. I'm just gonna go ahead and say just a massive. Is that all 20 accounts in one copier? He said staying humble, one good day doesn't get you paid. Yeah, the problem with you, Jensen, you had like 30 good days. So someone's gotta come keep you down to size. That's what accountability is for. That's what like O and a lot of these guys really on the team are for. It's because no matter how successful I get, no matter how many winning days I have in a row, there's you got to have people on your team that are going to roast you. They're going to bring you back down to size. That will remind you who you are. All right, put you back in place because that's the ego is the enemy of success. You can never let success stop you from further success. That's most people's problem. You get a little bit of it, you either get self-destructive tendencies because you don't know how to handle the success, or you get cocky, which is even worse. It's like people after the master class. I do the check-in with folks. I'm like, how'd it go? They're like, bro, it was great. And then the third week, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the tractor trailer at work, full margin, just staring at my phone while I'm the safety inspector supposed to be keeping an eye on everyone. There is no way that this just happened. Speaking of Bryce, whose audio is still loading, so I can't talk mad shit until it shows up. Hold up. There it is. Speaking of Bryce, look who found their way on the stream.
What's up, my man? How are you?
Um, it was all positive things that I was saying, Bryce. Okay, before there's any assumptions about why we're talking about you, right? It was all good. I said Jensen's gonna get too cocky here, bro, because he's had too many successful days in a row, and Buddy just stepped back on the scene after a little break, and then he's crushing it. And I'm like, yo, someone's got to make sure that he's staying humble. And I'm like, but I gotta keep myself humble. I got a full-time job on my hands. All right, you guys know me. He said so. Maybe some accountability would be good there. Fight. Hell no, I ain't fighting Jensen. Are you out of your mind, bro?
Said
Fuck
put him
no,
in the ring.
bro.
Yeah, I'll be like an hour and a half away from Jensen once we get moved down there here, so it'll be a
Bro,
quick drive.
I've seen Jensen on video, bro. Buddy definitely hitting the gym. These people are trying
Yeah,
to get him
yeah.
killed. They're like, yo, just fight this random dude. It's like, what if this guy's a champ? I didn't even know Bryce was a brown belt in jujitsu, but I was shit talking him for so long. And he was like, yeah, you just like casually just like let it loose one day. He's like, yeah, I'm a brown belt. I'm like, yeah, it was so dope, getting my brown belt. I was like, yo, son, hold on. I'm like racking my brain for all the fucked up shit I've said. I'm like, was there anything genuinely offensive in there? I'm like, oh my God. I'm taking, bro. That's why I started taking jujitsu, man. I want some nerd like Bryce to be able to like kill me, in an
Hey, whoa,
alleyway
whoa,
somewhere.
whoa, 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 hold on.
Oh shit. All jokes. What's up, Bryce?
What are we looking at here? You catching these buys right now?
What do you think, man?
I already know it.
Man, what do you think? Except Jensen out here talking about he got 20 accounts fucking
I,
loaded up, 250K accounts. So I'm sitting here as soon as this stream ends, about to purchase more accounts than I can handle. I'm about to get a fraud alert on my card. They're gonna be like, "Sir, are you sure? You made the same purchase a few too many times." I'm like, "Oh, I'm fucking sure."
Bro,
No,
I
I'd
know
love
he
to
took
see it.
advantage of that. Took advantage of that sell.
Yeah. Um, I mean, they always have a sale, bro. They'll have another one next week.
Yeah, I know. I know. I was talking to someone about that. I was like, yeah, it's either a really good thing or a bad thing. Either they're killing it or they're about to go out of business.
Bro,
So,
no prop firm in their right mind would ever do a discount, okay? Especially not 90%. I can promise you that eventually that ship is gonna hit the fucking wall. But until then, you can either sit here and complain about it or you can bag up. It's your choice.
I
Seriously.
was thinking about this though, Roy, but I bet a lot of these those like prop
Oh,
firms catch
shit. I'm
people.
sorry, bro. NASDAQ
No,
just
you're
fucking ripped.
you know
Hold on.
it's
I'm gonna
pumping, bro. Do your
pause
thing.
my screen real quick just to close some of these trades. I'm closing out on a few of these trades, guys. Just throwing that out there. But my bad, Bryce. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was gonna say I bet they just count on people forgetting about the subscription and they just keep getting renewed. Think about how many people do that shit.
I mean, that's how gyms make money.
I
Gyms
know.
oversell subscriptions. Hope the majority of people are flakers. Don't be a statistic, people. If you're listening to this, they make money off your goofy ass not showing up. Don't be that guy or gal. That's how Planet Fitness made a killing, by the way, because they would do like pizza days and all this shit. So everyone who doesn't want to go to the gym would show up, and then they would all get a membership because it's cheap, and then they would just never show up to the gym, and they would oversell the fuck out of those big ass Costco warehouse size rooms. Crazy model. What? Not even for the pizza? I mean, they wouldn't have pizza every day. Like, you still got to pretend to be a gym a little bit. I just fucking has made so many Planet Fitness people mad. Good. All right. I'm talking about any of the stands could invade us today. They'll fucking take our lunch. You got here at Planet Fitness. Oh my God. I think Khabib alone got the East Coast. I think but Islam might have the West, man. I don't know.
Definitely does.
I'm still waiting for the Asia highs. Patient pays. By the way, the news is correct. It's been the most violent election in Mexico, 37 this year. 30 in 2021? Bro, who's running for president like this, man? Fucking, yo, you saw 25 people get assassinated in 2018. Who the fuck ran in 2021? 30 people got killed running. So I'm gonna be the one to save my country. But read the room, all right? We're all market traders here. You understand? Our job is to find patterns that other people are clearly ignoring. Use that pattern to essentially predict future behavior, and then make a bet on what's most likely to happen using probabilistically weighted decision making. Forget that last part. But you guys get what I'm saying, right? 37 people killed in one election. That's our neighbor. And people are debating border policy. Motherfucker, what? David, viva Mexico. You understand? But this is nuts, brother. That's 37 JFKs. Fam, we're still trying to release those files. It's been 65 years. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like yo. And how did this woman get elected, David? Who is she? How does sweet little lady get elected in a country where 37 deaths happen? I don't know, man. 20 accounts equal how much dollars per month? Is it $30 per account? 20 accounts. Oh, well, he just said it's $85 lifetime maintenance fee. So I'm guessing it's gonna be dude, that's gonna be like 1,600 bucks for lifetime for all the accounts, ain't it? Oh, Jesus Christ, dude, 1,600 lifetime? He said that's mad sus, no cap. Yeah, I mean, clearly, brother, she's a fucking plant. Let's be honest. Manuel, you should listen to Tucker's interview with El Salvador president. A good listen. I did, and it was one of the best interviews I've heard in a long time. I was a big fan of what's his name, of Bukele when he first kind of issued the Bitcoin declaration, where they were going to turn their treasury assets into Bitcoin, and they bought in at like $12,000 a coin. This was right after COVID. Dude, that thing is sitting at 70 fucking thousand right now. That dude saved his entire country, put all the gangs in prison, especially the most violent gang in the world, the MS-13, right? Hundreds of thousands of people. This dude literally took El Salvador from the world's most dangerous country, the highest murder rate in the entire world, worse than any of the countries right now, to the safest in the Western Hemisphere in the span of 3 years. That's a legend. All right. And we can't even fucking clean up San Francisco. They're giving out free drugs. All right, y'all. Take it easy. Happy, safe trading. Money was made. TP1 almost hit. It's on the way. I got the alert set, and I'm also going to set an alert here for the high of Asia. Someone said patience pays. I think it was David. Ray. So I agree. And then TP2 is really up here at 1950. It's right above the highs. So I'm gonna leave the paper trade open. We'll come back and check this tomorrow, see how that ran. I'll just leave the hard take profit slightly below the intended zone. All right, TP1 officially got hit. Beautiful stuff. What a perfect trade. That's why we put in a tester. I obviously didn't put in a full position, but guys, 1-to-1 is still solid. Okay. This was probably 1.5 to 1. I'm just doing a quick math here. About 1.5 to 1. Well worth it. Okay. If you guys want to leave a running position, go for it. If you want to leave the whole thing open for the TP2, take the risk if that is what you desire. Happy and safe trading, y'all. Catch you guys tomorrow. Drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Just drop a like at least on your way out. Takes 2 seconds, means the world. And if you guys want to learn this strategy for yourself so you don't have to rely on these streams and you can do this on your own time, the freedom to do this and have a system that you can keep with you for life, hit the link below. Use promo code T. Do we have a promo code? It's all right. It's in the chat. Okay. I believe it's NAS25. NAS25. You get 25% off the masterclass, valid for the next 2 days. Make sure to take advantage of that before it's too late. Congratulations for showing up to the right place. And how much is the mentorship? I don't do personal coaching right now only because of how busy I am, but we do have coaches on our team ready to go. We're doing the masterclass in 4 days. So it's a 4-day intensive online masterclass. The recordings are available if you can't make it to the live sessions, to learn everything from start to finish about how to analyze markets and how to trade NASDAQ. You'll learn how to trade anything, but specifically we're going to talk about NASDAQ with a clear copy and paste system that you can use, how to spot which phase that you're in, which part of the cycle you're in, how to catch wick entries, how to scale in and scale out so you're always protected from the risk side. And of course, now we'll have a few folks jump on and talk to you guys about scaling and connecting more and more accounts. That's the next wave. All right. Make sure to click that link in the description. Again, that promo code is NAS25. Drop a like on your way out. Happy and safe trading. Peace. All right, members, we're crushing it. US 30, crushed. Coming back in for the retest now.